Hello, this is Rachel from Landon Skye Mandalas, and today I'm going to show you how to create this pretty mandala stone using beautiful blues, pinks, and reds. So let's get started. So the tools you're going to need today are dotting tools. These are my dotting tools that I sell on my Etsy store. They come in 6 different sizes. You'll also need a stylus. This will help make some of the smaller, tiny detail dots in your design. You'll also need a compass and a charcoal pencil. And you'll also need a Flexi stencil. I sell these on my Etsy store as well. These give you nice divider lines so that you can keep your dots straight and on point. And you'll also need pointed cotton swabs. These you can get at any beauty supply place. And then I also sell silicone dotting tools. These are really fun for both creating dots and removing mess up dots. First, of course, you'll need a stone. I use a medium-sized 3-inch stone. Very important to use chalk paint for the base coat. That way your chalk lines will show up when you draw the stencil. Pouring medium, I've found that this is amazing for equalizing the viscosity of all different brands of acrylic paint. If you want to follow along and use the exact same colors that I used, I've listed all the colors and brands in the description box below. So the first step to prepping your stone is to apply a base coat. And what I'm doing is using one of my Flexi stencils to quickly find the center point of my stone. So now that I have my center point, I grab my compass and create a circle that will act as a guide for my base coat. The great thing about using chalk paint is it allows your stencil guidelines to show up, and it also tends to be pretty thick. So what it does is it will correct any surface texture problems on your stone, making it have a really nice, smooth finish. Okay, now that the base coat's dry, we're going to apply our 16 segment divider stencil. This will keep our design straight and even. Since I started using these, I've never painted a mandala without them. They're super helpful, as you'll soon see. First, you can easily find the center of your stone by aligning the stencil with the outside edge. Then trace the lines onto the surface while holding the stencil secure. This does take some practice, but once you get it, you've got it. As you can see, it's really easy to bend and form the stencil to the curved edges. So now I break out my compass and draw a couple of circles from the center point. Depending on what kind of design I'm doing, I may not end up drawing a circle for my grid, or I might end up using multiple circles. It just depends on what design I do. Well, that was easy. Now it's time to paint. Yay! So for this video, if you're following along, you can look up at the top right, and it will show you what tool I'm using as well as what color paint I'm using. So if you want to follow along and do this stone exactly as it is in the video, please feel free to do so. So the most important dots that you will put onto your artwork are going to be the first few dots that you apply, and this is when you're the most shaky and unsure But these really are the ones that need to be spot on, because your eye is naturally drawn towards the center of your piece, and if any of these inside dots are off, it will really stand out, at least to you, probably not to other people, but I like to spend a lot of time and attention on these first center dots. So you'll notice in the dotting tool screen there are two different colored tools that I show. These are the colors that correspond to the two different sets of Landon Skye dotting tools. However, if you already have tools, the sizes are also listed in inches and millimeters, so you can use the tools that you already have. Here I switched to my silicone dotting tool, which is really fun. This has a totally different feel than the acrylic rods. It has more of a bounce to it. It takes some getting used to, but I really love the way this one feels. Uh-oh, those dots didn't fall right. I'm gonna pretend like I did that on purpose so I can show you my favorite mistake erasing tool. This is a flat chisel silicone dotting tool. Basically what you want to do is, while the paint is still wet, you can just take the tip and scrape away the mess up paint. This was a really tight spot to get to, so I should have used the smaller set. But for anyone who's had trouble removing mistake dots, this tool is really, really awesome to have on hand. See how easy it was to get rid of that mess up? I love it. Okay, so now I'm gonna switch over to using warm colors. I always love red. It just adds a nice pop of vibrancy to any piece. So now we're going to use our Stylus tool to come in and create a pretty white dotted border around those big pink dots. I love this look. It gives kind of a lacy effect. So at this point in the project, what I usually do is take a look at the design and see if there are any spaces that I can easily fill with dots. And right here I see there's a space right between the small red dots and the bigger pink dots. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that now. Just added a top dot to the center dot. And now I'm going to add another border to those outside dots. So at this point, I like to just walk away, let it dry, live with it for a little bit, and see if there are any color changes or tweaks that I want to do. And at this point, I think what I wanted to do was add some reds, pinks, and purples into that center blue section so that it's more of an integrated piece. Okay, so now you're gonna let your piece dry completely overnight, and the next morning what you do is you take it and wash off all the charcoal lines so that now all that you're left with is the paint. And there it is, your beautiful mandala stone for you to display or gift or sell. I am so happy that you joined me for this tutorial. If you like what you see and you want to join me in learning the art of dotting mandalas, please like this video and click the subscribe button to check out my new videos coming soon. So thanks for watching. See you next time.